75% of women will experience Candida or yeast infection at least once in their lifetime, which happens to be warning sign number 1 that you have Candida. Symptoms include the kind of vaginal itching or burning that can only be described as horrific, frustratingly unbearable, the kind of itching and burning that will drive a sister mad. Number 2 is bloating, especially if the onset of that bloating is directly after you eat. The reason for this is that Candida albicans thrives on certain foods, especially simple carbohydrates. The yeast will consume those simple or sugary carbs and produce a gas almost immediately, resulting in painful bloating. One reason bloating is so intense is that the Candida multiplies very quickly, which means you can have colonies of Candida producing this gas simultaneously. Number 3 is intense sugar cravings, like give me sugar now kind of cravings. This is because of the fungus's insane will to live. It only lives on those sugars. In an overgrown state, it will literally hijack your system and demand sweets. We actually have more bacteria in our body than we do DNA. So the old adage that you are what you eat refers essentially to the bacteria that is the byproduct of the things that we eat. So when Candida gets overgrown, you can think of it as having a very loud voice in the democracy of your gut. Candida makes all the decisions. It's very persuasive and demands what it needs to survive. In this case, that is sugar and simple carbs in any form. Lots of times this can also include fruit. Number 4 is intense mood swings. When the balance of good bacteria to yeast in the gut is off, Candida is just able simply to multiply like crazy. This is an example of what it looks like for Candida to create a web of what is called biofilm. This biofilm acts like a cocoon for the Candida to hide itself in. This allows it to thrive and grow largely undisturbed by anything. And it's a very effective barrier. The yeast then coat the entire lining of your intestinal tract and get in the way of your body's ability to produce serotonin, which we know is that happy chemical. This can happen from just taking even 1 round of antibiotics, which kills off so much of your good bacteria. Eating a diet that is high in refined carbohydrates, drinking too much alcohol, long-term birth control use, and chronic stress are all reasons that can support an overgrowth of Candida. So many people suffer from low serotonin and may not even know what the root cause is. But if you will subscribe, then you can help me be a part of the solution by sharing this with others. I have lots more to share. Number 5 is frequent urinary tract infections. This doesn't mean that every time you get an infection, you have Candida, but if you find yourself getting them over and over again, this could be an indicator. According to a study published by the NIH in 2015, Candida albicans is the most common cause of nosocomial fungal urinary tract infections, or UTIs. So if you find yourself with recurring UTIs, this could be a warning sign that you have Candida. Are you somebody who has frequent UTIs? How would you describe those symptoms? Please let me know in the comments. I know I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate for this, but I've actually never had a UTI, and I'm very curious, how would you describe those symptoms? I know that I've heard it's just awful, but share in the comments if you've had the experience. One of the most classic and common signs of Candida is number 6, which is chronic fatigue. Now, chronic fatigue can happen for lots of different reasons, but when Candida overgrowth is identified, according to this article on PubMed, chronic fatigue always seems to follow. One thought, according to this article, quote, there is evidence that Candida albicans infection of the mucous membranes depresses T cell and natural killer cell function. That means that your immune system takes a big hit. Those helper T cells are there to fight off infection, so when Candida is present, it's almost like they are being physically restrained by this aggressive fungus, those helper T cells. Now, number 7 on the list is autoimmune disease. When Candida overgrows, it can damage the gut lining, creating gaps that allow undigested food particles, toxins, and even Candida itself to leak into the bloodstream, which we don't want anything doing that. This is bad news all around for us. This can trigger an immune response, leading to inflammation and either aggravate or aggregate autoimmune disease and skin conditions. Number 8 is skin conditions like psoriasis, eczema, hives, and other rashes. Remember that the skin is one of the best ways for the inside of your body to communicate with the outside of your body. So an overgrowth on the inside will often show up as symptoms on the outside. I always love it when my clients have skin conditions because it's such a great way for us to show real progress. It's like a marker of success. We have a better idea of what we're dealing with, and we can attack it. So be sure to check out my video, 3 Signs You Need a Detox, where I explore the liver's possible role in some of these skin conditions. Number 9, white coating on the tongue. These are not fun to talk about and not fun to experience, but they are very real, so here we go. Creamy white lesions on your tongue, your inner cheeks, and sometimes on the roof of your mouth, gums, and tonsils. Slightly raised lesions with a cottage cheese-like appearance. Redness, burning, or soreness that may be severe enough to cause difficulty eating or swallowing. Slight bleeding of the lesions when they are rubbed or scraped. Cracking and redness at the corners of your mouth. A cottony feeling in your mouth. Loss of taste. Redness, irritation, and pain under dentures, which is called denture stomatitis. And finally, number 10 is toenail fungus. Remember that symptoms are information. Start to look at symptoms in your body as a way to kind of get curious and ask good questions. One study showed that 77 out of every 100 diabetics has toe fungus. Another study showed that people who have had their spleen removed have a very high incidence of toe fungus. What are the conditions in both of these groups of people, and why do some people get toe fungus while others don't? Well, part of it is that we all have Candida albicans on our skin. Remember that it's only a problem when it is overgrown. Both diabetes and Cushing's disease point to elevated insulin levels in the body, which is an indication of high levels of glucose or sugar in the body. A combination of high glucose, suppressed killer T cells, biofilm covering cell communication, and Candida overgrowth creates a perfect storm for toe fungus. If you want to learn 6 steps that you can take to eradicate Candida and these symptoms from your life forever, check out my video, How to Stop Candida Overgrowth in 6 Steps. Too many people really are suffering unnecessarily, so if you will subscribe, you will continue to get educated and be able to help somebody in your life. So please help spread the word, share this, and subscribe so we can stay connected and you can be the first to see my new videos. Thanks for watching.